Matt Jeffrey is flat out built different. Ranked as the #1 player in the nation by NLF and the #2 player in the nation by Inside Lacrosse, he's taken the lacrosse world by storm and solidified himself as a top tier prospect in his class. Today I want to go over the story of Matt Jeffrey, what makes him so good and what does he need to work on, and what might his future look like as a college and potentially pro lacrosse player. I'm Jake with Lax Weekly and welcome to this episode of Recruit Watch. So Matt didn't grow up with a stick in his hands like some players. His parents actually never played lacrosse. His dad played baseball and golf at Lemoyne College before enrolling his son Michael in Cheshire, Connecticut's youth lacrosse program. After Michael took a liking to lacrosse, he convinced his younger brother Matt to pick up the stick in kindergarten. Let's just say that was a great decision. But from an early age, one word describes Matt better than anything else: competitive. He didn't just specialize in lacrosse, he also picked up basketball and football, so he was constantly playing sports year-round. But his parents quickly realized his lacrosse talent might just take him places. So when he was in 3rd grade, they quickly signed him up for the Eclipse Lacrosse Club, an elite club lacrosse team that pumps out dozens of Division I lacrosse commits every year. But even as he got better and better at lacrosse, he stuck with football and basketball too, and things quickly started paying off. He found himself as the starting QB for the Cheshire High School football team, and starting point guard for the basketball team. And every coach quickly realized this kid was special. But during his freshman year of lacrosse, Matt fractured his femur on a freak accident while he was shooting the ball, and it was probably recommended he sit out for summer lacrosse. But Matt had other plans, and he played a full summer with Eclipse. For his efforts, he was ranked as the number 35 player in the class of 2024, with his write-up saying that he was a solid player, but kind of an under-the-radar guy compared to some of his Eclipse lacrosse teammates. At 5'11", 185 pounds, Matt didn't have that eye-popping size either, but Matt was happy with his ranking. Being a top 40 player despite playing lacrosse for only 1/3 of the year is no easy feat, but he also knew he could do better. After another season as the starting quarterback in football and the starting point guard in basketball, Matt was back in summer of 2022, ready to ball out before his recruiting window opened. And oh my, did he put on a show. From all accounts, Matt had the best summer on the club lacrosse circuit, using his left-to-left split dodge and insane lacrosse IQ to literally pick apart defenses with his eyes closed. You name the event, Matt was at it, and he was the best player on the field. After a solid ranking of number 35 last year, Matt shot up to being the #1 player in the class of 2024 by NLF and #2 by Inside Lacrosse. Many recruits have jumped up like 10 spots or so, but a 35 ranking jump is unheard of. Naturally, every college lacrosse coach in the country wanted Matt at their program, but from an early age, he had already made up his mind about his dream school. After going to a Notre Dame football game, he could tell the atmosphere of the school was different than the rest, and he made it well known to Notre Dame head coach Kevin Corrigan that South Bend was the place he wanted to be. So Coach Corrigan took a recruiting visit up to Matt's house in Connecticut, and it was then that Matt knew this was a done deal. And on September 11th, 2022, Matt made his verbal commitment to Notre Dame. I want to break down what makes Matt such a special player so we can take parts of his game and bring them to our own game. So the most eye-popping aspect of Matt's game is his speed. Using his insanely quick feet and deceptive left-to-left split dodge, he's able to get around virtually every defender in his way. And if a slide does come, he doesn't mind swimming over them before unleashing a lefty rip. Also, if you want to become a top recruit like Matt, I have a free lacrosse recruiting crash course that you can check out on my website. Check the link in the description or just go to laxweekly.com/join. And that leads me to his next strength, his on-the-run shooting. Shooting on the run almost feels like a lost art in lacrosse. It used to be a staple of every midfielder, but now most great offensive midfielders just turn into attackmen. But Matt defies this trend and has one of the most dangerous on-the-run shots in the country. It's not only the speed that makes it so good, it's his deception. You'll often see Matt look high and shoot low, or look far and shoot near. Goalies are constantly guessing to figure out where he's going to shoot, and he's living in their head rent-free. And this leads me to my next point. Matt Jeffrey's lacrosse IQ is off the charts. If there's a way to measure lacrosse IQ, he would be in the top 1%. When you watch Matt play, you can just tell his game sense is elite. I really think there's one reason for that. He plays more than just lacrosse. When you play multiple sports, you're exposed to new situations, new angles, new movements that you wouldn't just get playing lacrosse. But when you stick to just one sport, you can only think as big as that one sport. And also a huge plus of this is that college lacrosse coaches just love recruits who play multiple sports, because it means you'll be even better when you just focus on lacrosse in college. But even if you don't have the free time to focus a ton of time on another sport, try to play pickup sports. There's almost certainly pickup basketball games wherever you live, or even a sport like tennis or pickleball would be beneficial to learn. Matt's next great strength is his competitiveness. In his interviews, you can tell this guy has a certain type of swagger about him where he knows he's the best player on the field every time he steps on it. I think this comes from being in so many game time situations. And the last strength I want to touch on is his toughness. The dude fractured his femur and came back to play summer lacrosse because he wanted it that bad. Now, I'm not telling you to play injured, but I am telling you that the very best players can turn on a new gear no matter what's going on, and Matt Jeffrey is certainly that type of player. So I just bragged on Matt for a few minutes, but even the top recruits like him have so much to work on. So here are a few things I'd like to see Matt develop as he continues to grow his game. Number one is his right hand. If you watch him play lacrosse, it's almost all left to left, which doesn't really affect him in the high school ranks. But once he heads to Notre Dame, Defenders there aren't going to bite on a swim move, they're going to rip the ball out of his hands if he does it consistently. Instead, he needs to continue to develop moves in his arsenal, and that starts with having at least one move with his right hand. You can see in his highlight reel he isn't afraid to rip it righty, and he needs to lean into this even more if he's going to be a dangerous player at the next level. Number 2 is his size and physical game. Like we saw earlier, the name of the game for Matt Jeffrey is speed, but it's time in the weight room that will elevate him even further. We've seen plenty of high school recruits struggle at the next level simply because it's a much more physical game. But with playing 3 high school sports, I know Matt's already taking the weight seriously, and he will continue to do this throughout his lacrosse career. And number 3 is his vision. Matt seems to be a dodge and shoot first kind of guy, which isn't a bad thing, but it is insane how many assists this guy could have as his game develops. Because he's such a matchup nightmare and can stretch a defense with his shot, defenses are going to be extremely quick to slide to him. If he can develop an arsenal of passes like no looks, behind the back, sidearms, underhands, this man will go from great to unstoppable. So now that we know what Matt's strengths are and what he needs to work on, let's talk about what we can practice to be more like Matt. So number 1 is jump rope. Matt has extremely quick feet. Some of that is natural ability, but it's possible for everyone to develop faster feet. The way I like to do this is with a simple jump rope. It might sound easy at first, but jump rope for 2 minutes on, 1 minute off, 10 times in a row, and tell me you're not gasping for air by the end of it. Although it's hard work, jump rope is easily one of my favorite drills to develop conditioning and footwork. Number 2 is focused shooting on the run drills. How often do you go out to the field and run around and shoot for an hour with no real plan? If you really want to shoot lefty snipes like Matt, you need to break your shot down. Focus on the quality of your shots. Pick a spot on the goal and only count it as a good shot if it goes there. Invest in a radar gun. See how much faster you can shoot. And invite a parent or teammate out with you to guard you. It's going to be very rare that you get a perfectly open shot on the goalie. The best players in lacrosse like Matt are really good at shooting with defenders draped all over their hands. And number 3, which might be the most important, is to watch film every day. The reason Matt thrives as a lacrosse player is because his game IQ is off the charts. And a lot of that can be developed through watching film. But I don't mean just throwing some highlights on your computer while you're scrolling through TikTok on your phone. I mean breaking down a play for 20 minutes, step by step, thinking in your head, how did the play happen, and visualizing yourself doing the exact same thing. So I want to know, what do you think about Matt Jeffrey? And what video do you want to see next? I'm Jake with Lax Weekly. Go check out my recruiting crash course below, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Thank you for watching.